And it's a very special day. Obviously, all day today we've been celebrating Emirati Women Day. And of course, this is the Yalla Home version with Anna Schofield and Big Hass. But we are not alone.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Of course, it's a special day celebrating our sisters. And you can see from all, and you can hear from all Pulse 95 radio shows that we are trying to, highlight our sisters, our Emirati, and of course, just incredible honor. Today in the studio, actually, we have an amazing. I bumped into her profile about a week ago, and I was like, wow, we need to, definitely have her on the show. She's a photographer and a printmaker. She is somebody who studied, obviously, studio art and graphic design in Boston, the United States. But what I really truly loved about her work is there's a sense of authenticity and nostalgic about her work. We want to get to know her on a personal level and just try to really highlight her. We have Fatima Albudoor. We're going to say Assalamu alaikum, Fatma.
Alaikum assalam. Hi, Hassan. How are you today?
It's so good to have you right here on Yalla Home.
So good.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I think, look, the first question is, what sparked? Why obviously in this case you do photography and prints. What was about photography? How did you get into photography and why?
I think everyone has been in photography, especially now lately. We have our cameras on our phones. And just for me, I always remember having a camera around with my family, with my friends. And so it kind of just stuck. When I was in university, I really liked it. And you talked about nostalgia. I really love shooting film photography in particular. It's quite a nice experience. And yeah, I think it's just something that I'm passionate about.
And what's quite interesting is that while you're talking, there is a beautiful SLR, I imagine, I don't know, but camera sitting next to you. You brought film and everything with you because it's actually a part of you. When you were talking off air, we were chatting, and you said, you feel like you were that person between old film and digital, because you remember your parents using real film, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, growing up, my parents always had their cameras on them, and I saw them shooting. They would hand me the camera, and I would be, snapping shots. They even got me my own little, how we would have those toy cameras that are like little funky characters. They got me my own. So it's just something that's always been around and that has been fun for me. And I think moving towards digital, I started to miss analog. So, yeah.
Just listening to you talk about it, was it therapy at one point as well?
Of course. I mean, I studied in the U.S. I was very lucky to have a scholarship from the UAE to study there. I studied art. And a lot of the times I was in between Dubai and the US, and I was capturing my life in Dubai, I was capturing my life in the States, and just trying to keep those memories alive. And now, 10 years later, looking back at my photos, it's just such a nice feeling to have those memories.
I was actually going to say that, Fatima, when you were talking. Have you now got this whole selection of America and of the time when you were a student here in the UAE?
Yeah,
so
of course.
In 10 years, because the way the UAE is growing, those photos are going to be, like nothing else, aren't they?
Exactly, yeah. And the photo community here is alive and thriving, and it's so nice to meet different photographers. So it's a really nice field to be in.
How did the printmaking come into your life? How did that happen?
Yeah, so printmaking is kind of think about before we had printers printing things out. We had people manually printing things out on printing presses, on screen printing. And I was really interested in graphic design. And when I went to university and I was exposed to printmaking, it takes graphic design back to the basics. You have to print first the background, then you have to print the second layer, then the third layer. And it was just really fun for me to take it back to basics. And you do everything manually. You're mixing the ink by yourself. You're putting the letters by yourself. So it's just, it's a fun activity to do in the studio. It gives you life.
100%. We are with Fatma Albudoor, an incredible, really photographer and printmaking, artist here in the UAE, celebrating, of course, Emirati Women's Day. We're going to take a short break and we'll be right back. Let's hear some Burna Boy. But again, happy, really, Emirati Women's Day to everybody, to all the sisters right here celebrating in the beautiful country of the UAE. Keep it locked. We're going to be right back. It's Pulse 95.
This is Pulse 95 with
Yalla Home.
Yalla Home.
Celebrating our beloved women of the UAE. It's Emirati Women's Day. Only on Pulse 95.
Emirati Woman. Emirati Woman. Emirati Woman.
Emirati Women's Day, of course, on Yalla Home, though, and that makes it extra special. We're live through till 8 o'clock tonight, but we have the pleasure of being joined by Fatima.
Yeah, Fatma Albudoor. You know, one of those things, Fatma, that attracted me in your work is, like I said, the authenticity. There's a sense of nostalgia. And I was born in 1980. I'm 43 years old. But when I was looking at your pictures, there was a sense of, wow. And we were like a belonging. And you obviously studied in Boston, in the United States, on a scholarship. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That deserves a big round of applause. Where's my applause button right here?
Yeah,
big
well
round of
done,
applause.
that girl.
And of course, shout out to the UAE for, blessing us with these amazing scholarships. My question to you is, what sort of challenges did you face when you were there in the States, obviously trying to get that degree?
I mean, going to the States, like, you have this image in your mind of what it's going to be like. But when you get there as a college student, I didn't know anybody. I had to make friends from scratch. I had to learn a new place. I had to learn how to get on the train. These kind of day-to-day challenges were there, but also missing your family. Like,
Facts.
we in the UAE, we all have such big, lovely families, and you're used to eating your mom's cooking and seeing your grandma every weekend. So just like missing that family support was strong.
Was that hard, Fatma?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
How many times did you, sorry, Hass,
Yeah.
how many times did you manage to come home? Because obviously it's kind of the year is split into 3 semesters.
Yeah.
So did you come home during the semester or did you wait to the end?
I'd come home twice a year in the summer and the winter. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But that was all.
Yeah.
So that's quite a big thing.
I
isn't
mean,
it,
when you're in the States, it's too far away to
Facts.
do like a weekend trip. It's not
Absolutely,
possible.
Wow, weekend.
Yeah.
So
14-hour trip or something.
exactly.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Okay. I kind of want to follow up. Yeah, go ahead.
Go on. No,
I kind of want to follow up more on the because how did you? Was it your first time going to the States?
No, I did live in the States with my parents when I
Okay.
was younger, because they also went to university there.
Okay.
So it kind of runs in the family.
Oh, how nice.
And they're creatives as well. So I had like some nostalgia, but it had been a long time since going there. Yeah. And it was my first time in Boston when I went there. So it was really getting to know a new place.
Amazing.
I kind of want to know about Boston and what you thought of it, because I've got family there.
Yeah.
So I've been to Chicago, not been to Boston. So what was your, when you got there, what was your first impression?
It's such a college city. Like it's full of
Yes.
universities.
That's
It's full
what
of
they
young
say.
Is it
students.
MIT there or something?
MIT,
Yeah.
Harvard,
Yeah. Harvard.
all the big there's
Yeah.
a lot of big schools in Boston, and so you're always seeing students, people your own age, and
Yeah.
it's also like quite cultural. Like the arts center is quite nice. They have their own set of galleries there, and I don't know, it's like student life and kind of homey. And it's also in New England, so you get that like beautiful autumn fall
Right.
feeling. Like you see the leaves changing, you see the snow falling, and yeah.
So Fatima, do you miss it?
I do, yeah,
Yeah.
but I feel like that's like a different part of my life. Now I'm a working mom, so I look at it with nostalgia. Yeah.
And we definitely need to talk about the fact next. We're going to take a break, but we need to talk about the fact you're a working mum, because we were sharing the juggle earlier, weren't we?
Exactly,
We're going
yeah.
to talk about that.
Before that, I was just really interested to know your thoughts about the UAE art scene generally. Your thoughts as being part of it. What are your thoughts seeing it as being, obviously you're part of the scene itself?
I think the art scene is thriving, and it's so nice to see strong like leaders, strong women in the field. We have like Sheikha Latifa bint Muhammad, and we have Sheikh Budoor as well.
Yeah.
And they are like leading examples of role models for us, for Emirati women to see. And there's just so much support that you can get with like, I got a scholarship for university,
Alhamdulillah.
and I got like commissions later on. They support artists,
Wow.
and we have all these festivals with open calls, like Sikka Arts Festival.
and
It's really like nice to have a space where people want to see your work and they're pushing you to exhibit your work. So I think it's very fun and inclusive.
I love that. I love that you said that. We're gonna take a short break, but up next we're gonna be talking about obviously, how do you feel about Emirati Women's Day, celebrating, of course, our sister. Keep it locked right here. We're gonna be right back. It's Yalla Home.
This is Pulse 95 with
Yalla Home.
Yalla Home.
Celebrating our beloved women of the UAE. It's Emirati Women's Day. Only on Pulse 95.
Emirati Woman. Emirati Woman. Emirati Woman.
And all day today, you will find that Pulse 95 has been celebrating Emirati Women's Day. Everybody's had guests, but of course this is Yalla Home, Anna Schofield Big House, and we do it our way. And we've got a very beautiful artist here in the studio with us.
Incredible photography, and just as a human, just getting to know her a little bit right now, her vibe, her energy. We're going to be talking about the fact that she's a working mom, but she's an amazing, really, photographer and printmaker. Fatma Albudoor, thank you again for joining us. It means a lot to us. As we celebrate Emirati Women's Day, take us through the emotions. How do you feel as the country, the whole country, is celebrating you, Fatma?
It feels really nice. It's such a privilege to be celebrated, and every year to see the accomplishments of women being reflected in the media, with your friends, on social media. And yeah, it's really nice to get to see everyone accomplishing things.
But take me through the feelings. Like, how do you, what is it that it's nice what you said.
Yeah.
But don't you, like, wow, I don't know if, like, in Emirati woman, that means if you're a woman and you're Emirati, it's your day today.
Exactly, yeah. It's really nice. It's a great feeling.
I love the fact that this is happening, and shout out to the UAE for really highlighting that. And like you said, just amplifying and highlighting the diverse voices of women that, in the UAE.
I have always thought, because obviously I'm an expatriate, and so I came here, it's like a club.
Joined the UAE.
I joined the UAE 15 years ago, and obviously love it.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I think is very beautiful, and I'm very vocal about this, about the UAE, is you celebrate your wins.
Exactly.
You celebrate your wins so amazingly. You look after your people, and there's only there's 195 different cultures in the UAE, and just a small part of them are Emirati, and even smaller part of them Emirati women. So when this day comes along, do you sort of celebrate with your mum and your sisters, and is it a thing, or is it something that sort of us in the media go, oh, we want to talk to you?
I think it's a mix of both. I think my friends gift each other,
really?
Yeah,
They do?
like flowers
Oh,
and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think it's also nice that in the lead up to August, people are talking about Emirati Women's Day. You're getting contacted for opportunities, for commissions, and like the focus is really on women, and that's lovely to see.
Can I ask you a tough question?
Yes.
If you don't mind. It's somehow a tricky question. When you get approached for stuff like that, isn't it also important to value like the artist as an artist? Meaning, I'll be very honest. Sometimes people would reach out to other artists on this day to hey, let's do this as a collaboration. But exposure don't pay the bills. So how does that? What's your opinion about that? Because it's a really big discussion amongst the art scene. Hey, it's Emirati Women's Day. We're celebrating you. Let's do this collaboration. Do you get stuck there? Do you get
I think it's been a mix, but also Emirati Women's Day has been happening for a couple years now.
Thanks.
So when I've been approached, it has been as a commission with pay. So it's been really nice to see that people are factoring it into their budgets now.
Yeah.
But maybe towards the beginning, when you're starting out, you do get a lot of those requests.
No, this is kind of my personal opinion, kind of public service announcement to all of you guys, agencies out there. When you approach these guys, I mean, they do this for a living. Yeah. Which brings me to my next question. Obviously, you're working mom. God bless. This is incredible. What are the challenges that you face doing so?
Thank you. Yeah, I am a working mom. I also work as an art teacher during the day at a cultural center called Al Jalila Cultural Center for Children.
Jalila.
Yes.
Nice.
Amazing.
And we're always busy working with kids. So the work-life balance is a bit difficult because I am at work working with kids.
Yeah.
And I have a 2-year-old son at home or at the nursery. But it's part of life, you know. I saw my mom doing it as I was growing up, and you know, you manage from a day-to-day basis.
I love that because I watched my mum doing it.
Yeah.
So you have the influence, don't you?
Exactly,
of that. And I think, you know, that it's very different to friends of mine whose mums didn't work. And I think that you grow up differently with your mum working. You have that. You know, it was a very big part of my day coming home from school. I knew when she was getting home from school. How is it, so I was saying this to you off air, how is it trying to explain to your two-year-old where you're going? It's your son, isn't it?
Yeah, it's my son.
Does he get it? Does he know?
So he goes to nursery in the morning. So he got used to it. You know, he goes to nursery, I go to work. So now he's still so young, you know. But I think he enjoys his days at the nursery as well. So
shout out to Isa.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna get this clip later. But
Exactly.
before we take a short break, I wanted you as Fatma Albudoor to maybe address. If there's a new mom as well right now, she's just, you know, obviously joined the workforce, but she's also a mom. What would you tell her? Like, what are the things that helped you kind of, you know, deal with this? There's nothing that, in my opinion, that can prepare you, to be honest. You just have to kind of go through it. But what would you tell her?
I think just take the time to be with your baby at the beginning. I was lucky to have about a year and a half with my baby before I went back to work.
Well done.
And so that time is really precious. And also it's nice to go back to work because you're remembering who you are, you know. So just be gentle with yourself and appreciate that time with your kids. It's really special.
Lovely advice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the support that you have as well is, you know, respect. And if you're just tuning in, obviously it's really tough. Generally, it's a tough, you know, working mom alone, and that's why I have respect. 9 months, and then you got to take care of the baby. It's just people don't talk. Like, you got to really talk about it and just give them the flowers. Not today, every day, man. You know, like, just seriously. We are with Fatma Albudoor, an incredible Emirati, you know, photographer and printmaker. We're gonna take a short break, and we'll be right back. We're gonna talk to her about her dreams. We're gonna ask her about her camera. We're gonna be talking a bit more, of course, things right here, celebrating Emirati Women's Day. Keep it locked. Do not go anywhere.
Text us anytime. 4215.
Pulse 95.
This is Pulse 95 with
Yalla Home.
Yalla Home.
Celebrating our beloved women of the UAE. It's Emirati Women's Day. Only on Pulse 95.
Emirati Woman. Emirati Woman.
That's right, and it's Yalla Home. I keep crashing that, but it's Yalla Home. We're doing it our way tonight, and it's been lovely all day. We're celebrating Emirati Women's Day. Everyone's doing it their way. Everyone's chatting to Emirati women, which is such a privilege. We've got a beautiful artist in the studio with us, Fatima Albudoor. She's here, mother of a 2-year-old boy, but also an incredible artist. And I know that Hass is dying to know about the camera.
The camera, man. Yo, we can lift it up for people watching.
My camera's
obviously
with me today. Vintage Nikon film camera.
So wait. There's a thing is it Nikon?
It is. Isn't it?
It's not Nikon.
Yeah.
It's like a preference thing, I think.
I think you're right. I think it's English American again because
Okay.
I call it
you
Nikon.
You say Nikon.
Nikon.
Okay, good. Okay.
I say Nikon.
Okay.
But I didn't even flinch when she said it because I knew that this is Boston I'm
Interesting.
fighting, so you know.
Okay, so
Yes.
tell me about that.
I picked up this camera more than 5 years ago at a used camera store. It's from the 1970s. It is a film camera, so everything I shoot, you know, I brought my rolls of film with me to show you guys. Very old school. You put the roll in, you shoot the images, and you don't get to see them until it's developed, which can be like a day later or a week later or a month later. So
obviously you teach, right?
Yes, I
when
am.
When you say this information to kids nowadays who are used to obviously ka-ching, the phone khalas done.
Yeah.
What's the sort of reaction you get, especially if they didn't know about this?
It's funny that you bring that up because one of the workshops that we had recently, we had these old cassette tapes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the kid was just peeling out the tape from the cassette tape, and I was like, oh my god, he's ruining the tape. And he just
I kind of used to do
he
that.
had no idea what he was doing. We're like, do you know what this is? And he was like, no, it looks cool, you know.
Yeah.
So it's quite funny to see. The
The
difference in the ages and the generations.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions. I can go crazy, but go ahead, go ahead.
I actually wanted to talk about that because we were talking off air about record players and the whole retro vibe. So if you're teaching children and you're teaching them art, and how old are the kids that you're teaching?
They're like 5 and up, yeah.
Right, so little ones.
Yeah, little kids.
All right. So what's an everyday for you? What do you walk in with? Because you were talking about magazines earlier, and how like we used to use, and I'm the same. We used to use magazines and newspapers and things to sort of art and craft and stick and paste.
Yeah.
Of course, that's not in existence anymore.
Yeah.
So you're printing stuff?
So it's a mix. Like I do show them some of the old printmaking skills, like making rubber stamps and stuff. But then when I'm talking about newspapers and magazines, when I was growing up, I used to love cutting up newspapers and making little collages, you know? And I was just saying that now I'm teaching a class and I want like scrap images. I have to go to my printer and print them out, or like physically go look for a newspaper or physically go look for a magazine because, you know, print isn't as it was 10, 20 years
dying
ago.
Up.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be gone soon.
How does that make you feel as an artist, though? Like as a photographer? What's your thoughts on that?
It's quite sad, isn't it? Yeah, like I loved collecting magazines and newspapers. It's nice to see a big stash, you know?
Yeah.
So it's quite sad, but we're moving in a new, interesting direction, and, you know, things are always changing in media.
Yeah. I've always asked photographers this. As a photographer, do captions really matter? Like, you know, when you caption a photograph? Because some people tell me, no, I just put it out there and let it be for the viewer to decide. What do you think?
I think captions are important, but I think now people are thinking of captions because they're posting their images on social media. Right. It goes hand in hand, right? Like you put the picture up and you're thinking, oh, what do I write about this? I think captions are important now, but maybe they weren't so important 10, 15 years ago. When you could just look at the picture and let it do the talking for you.
Fatma, can I put you on the spot?
Yes.
I'm going to put the music down right here because it's a situation.
This is bad.
No, it's not bad. Why? But let's say we put you on the spot and we say, Fatma, you have the possibility to showcase, for example, 3 pieces of work or 3 photographs that you personally like for you. Do you have them in your memory, like that you can, you know, share them with us or tell us about these kind of 3 photographs? Or that's a tough question?
I do have images of mine that are like my favorites.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. See, she didn't even. That's amazing. Usually people are like, they're all my babies. I like all of them. No, but that's. I love the honesty. Can you tell us about those 3?
I do take pictures of my friends and my family, and I actually do take a lot of pictures of Emirati women as well, my sisters, my friends. And so the images that I'm thinking of are like these beautiful photos that have, you know, a nostalgic feeling of a woman. And with film, you can do this fun thing called double exposure. So you can take the roll and you can shoot over it 2 times. And, you know, now we can do that with a filter on Instagram.
Let's go.
Yeah, but back then you had to like roll up the film and take a picture on top of each other. So the pictures I'm thinking of are beautiful double exposure photos that I've taken before.
Wow.
Love that.
Are they on your social page?
I'm saving them.
Ooh, are you?
Yeah, I have some pictures on my social media, but I'm saving the good ones for like a nice exhibit or something.
Yeah. I actually wanted to ask if you had some up in your home. Have you got your own pictures up in your home?
Yeah, I do.
Good.
Yeah.
And
in my office too. Yeah.
Speaking of exhibitions, I think it's interesting. From now till the remainder of the year, obviously you're teaching. Can you tell us where you're teaching again? Al Jalila?
Yeah, Al Jalila Cultural Center for Children.
Amazing. And is that something that people can sign up for?
Yeah, you can go to the center and sign your kids up for like summer camp and winter camp.
No, I want them to go for Fatma Albudoor.
For Fatma. Look for the printmaking classes.
Printmaking classes. Fatma Albudoor, ladies and gentlemen. She'll give you a discount. No, but I mean, but that's incredible. Yeah. Okay, so what can we look forward to from now till the end of the year? In terms of like, is there any exhibition? Are you working on your solo exhibition maybe?
I would love to have a solo exhibition, but I don't have one lined up yet. However, next year there's going to be the Sikka Arts Festival. I participated in it last year. Nice. So this I'm thinking about what I can exhibit for that. Yeah.
Tell us, what can you exhibit?
Yeah, come on.
I'm still brainstorming. The idea hasn't formulated. Yeah.
Okay.
We were talking off air. Obviously, do you like listening to music when you're working? Like, what's the sort? How do you? Yeah, what sort of music you like listening to?
I mentioned I like the band Odessa.
Odessa.
I also like old emo music, like
What?
Fall Out Boy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Of course.
So I like old rock music. Yeah.
Alternative rock.
Exactly.
Yeah. Fall Out Boys. Wow.
I know.
That's
That's
amazing.
where when I was in college 10 years ago, that's what was popular. So
Yeah. Like I was reminding me of Stained, if you know Stained. And
yeah.
That's amazing. And look, as we just really want to salute you and highlight you, I think it's also important to talk about the role of family when it comes, obviously, to you. What do you tell them, obviously, right now as they're listening, to you? Make your way. You're a mom. You're a working mom. You're obviously carving your own lane as well. What's the sort of support that the family gave you?
Just like to be there for the working moms. My mother helped me out. My mother-in-law helped me out with the baby.
Bless.
And it's just, when they say it takes a village, it's true. Everyone has to come together to help out the mom. And it's just really nice to have that as well.
Yeah.
And I think we're lucky in the UAE that we do have big families, lots of sisters and siblings and stuff like that.
Correct.
So the village is there, you just need to ask for it,
Right.
Send me some food. I haven't slept all night, stuff like that. Yeah.
That's a fact.
Love that. Implement the village.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. Fatma Albudoor, thank you so much for your time. I know it's just insane right now, and you took time to come into Pulse 95 Radio, Yalla Home. Any last words you'd like to say? And where can people follow you as well?
Yes, my Instagram is my name, Fatma.Albudoor. And I teach art, so if you're looking for art classes, my name will pop up as well.
Can we sign up?
Yeah, sure.
Adults as well.
Yeah, I
Hilarious.
can do kids and adults classes.
Cool. I'm coming through.
And
He'll be trouble.
Exactly. And yeah, just, I think for Emirati women, just like always believe in yourself and ask for help too. I think that just came up at the end that like we have all the support. You just need to reach out for it.
Yeah.
And
very important
we're
point.
very, very blessed to be where we are.
That's a fact. I love that you said that. I'm from Saudi Arabia. I moved here 6 years ago, and it's incredible how UAE and now Saudi Arabia are really, obviously. We have a special bond, Saudis and the UAE.
Yeah,
there's a special bond. But I love what you said. Thank you so much, Fatma Albudoor.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, really
for coming through and just really shout out to all the sisters today. Of course, Emirati Women celebrating. But do me a favor, go follow Fatma Albudoor because she's really talented, very incredible. Sign up for her class, Al Jalila.
Yeah. At
Right.
Jalila Cultural Center.
Al Jalila Cultural Center. Go check her out.
Yeah.
And just really be acquainted with that. And today, especially today, if you're listening to this, just say, Happy Emirati Women's Day. And just, not only today, actually every single day. Peace and love. And we're going to be right back with you guys until 8 o'clock. Of course, we love you. We salute you. Fatma, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Peace and love. Keep it locked.